coming off of methadone is like falling from a 50-story building every 5 minutes. But to beat it and come out of it, here I am.
10 years later.
Cute as hell.
I found that when I got sober, you know, sort of looking back on from the time that I started playing up until 2000 and I guess that was 2006. My partying thing was really a matter of killing time in between gigs. So I wasn't really using when I was on the road, I wasn't really using when I was in the studio, I was always focused on music. So when I got sober, all that sort of effort that I had put into, you know, what had turned into a massive addiction at that point, I took all that and just put it straight back into the music, and it wasn't really reliant on me being buzzed or should I say inebriated to be able to create stuff. You know, so it was. I was fortunate. I really just put everything into writing and felt really comfortable sober and playing.
Rob, Wikipedia says that you've been clean and sober all the way since 1986.
Yes, I have.
Very good. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. And all those years gone don't matter, you know, anybody that's in recovery. It's what's happening now that really matters. But yeah, and that's the question, sorry. Is there a question to
No,
that?
that was just, is that true or
Well,
false?
I'll just do a bit of preaching. Because, you know, recently we've lost beautiful people in the music business. And it's a tragedy when you think of the incredible talent that we've lost. So, you know, any opportunity that I think any of us have a chance to speak out and say, if you're having a struggle, if you're having any difficulty, there's always somebody to reach out to and to talk to. One of the biggest hurdles is getting over the fear of losing something about yourself, and I think being sober for me has hopefully made me a stronger person, you know, to be able to deal with things in life that before I would reach for a drink to try and help me solve. Now I have to find my own inner strength through sobriety to make it happen. But it's a good feeling good.
Do you feel more healthy? Do you feel more clear?
No, everybody always asks me that. No, I feel just like I did before, but I'm not drinking beer. So, you know what I mean? It's just like, because that's when people are just like, oh, good for you. I go, no, bad for me. Bad. Oh, but you know, it is what it is. I mean, the doctor just told me when I got these blood clots, I go, well, can I still drink? He goes, nah, Zach, he goes, let's just put it this way. He goes, yeah, it'll just be red blood, and you know, you'd be pissing out your ass, you'd dig the whole 9 yards. So he said, he goes, you either got that behind door number 1 or the liver transplant, or behind door number 3, you can keep jerking off and listening to your Led Zeppelin records and doing whatever else you want to do, you know, fisting your prostate while you're enjoying your Led Zeppelin records. So make the decision. I said, I think I'll stick to the fisting my prostate and listening to my Led Zeppelin records.
So what helped you the most in pursuing the sober lifestyle? Was it exercise? I know you said you meditate a lot.
Meditation helps when you actually take the time out for self-care and you count your breaths and you go throughout your day. I notice days that I don't meditate, I have bad days. You know, if I just take 10 minutes out of my day to count my breaths and not think about anything else and clear my head and then go throughout my day goes a lot better, you know, and I don't know, it works for me. It doesn't have to work for everybody else. Exercise is crucial. Even if it's not, I mean, take a walk. If you get up and you take a walk for, you know, say a half mile every day, it tends to help with, you know, just your overall anxieties.
So not just super physical, strenuous
not
exercise.
Not super physical, just take a
motion.
walk, get your blood flowing, you know. And there's walking meditation, like just count your breaths while you walk, count your steps, like just try to clear your mind.
You know, I quit drinking. I always tend to bring up drinking whenever I talk about my life because it's such a huge, long, important part of it. When I quit drinking almost 7 years ago, it was like, I was still creative while I was drinking, but it was like there was a damp filter on it, you know? And when I got sober, it's like, that was ripped away. So my mind is on overdrive all the time. Yeah. You know, I'm writing, I'm shooting photos, I'm making music, I'm just doing all sorts of stuff, you know, becoming really engaged with life, doing a lot of surfing. That provides a lot of balance for me, you know.
The most recent tattoo I've got is my phoenix. And this was a celebration, personal thing, after a year of sobriety, that I decided I wanted to not only wake up every day and remind myself how far I've come, but how far I have to go. This industry is not nice sometimes to certain people, and I wanted to make sure that everybody knew that I wasn't going anywhere. So this was not only a symbol of my strength, but also hopefully, you know, a symbol that other people can look at and have some kind of faith in it and know they're not alone. It's a big deal to me. But this is actually imperative to shedding skin. It's my sign of it, again, rolls into the phoenix. When I came out, they had to put me in a coma. My body had shut down, and I wasn't there. I died for like almost 2.5 minutes. And so I woke up like, I think it was 3 days later, 3.5 days. Yeah, right? And I didn't recognize myself, let's put it that way. I couldn't walk for 2 days. They had to help me outside, and they had to help me use the bathroom. And so I looked in the mirror, and it was like Gollum. I was green and ugly and pale, and I was like, what the f*** happened to me? And that's when I decided I was gonna shed skin and be the man that I should have always been, and I can be. The biggest part for me, especially in sobriety, yes, it's the band. Yes, it was for my kids. Yes, it's for my family. Yes, it's for everything in the world, but at the beginning of the day, it starts with me. And so this was the point of peeling that shit away and starting fresh.
In your early 20s, when you were living with your gram, you attempted suicide by way of overdose. Your grandmother drove you to the hospital in Des Moines. The doctors resuscitated you, and you described this as the lowest point in your life.
Yeah, it was pretty low. And, you know, obviously, well, I was 18 going on 19.
Okay.
So it was a little earlier than that.
Okay.
Yeah, I swallowed a bunch of pills. They fed me Ipecac.
Oof.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is awesome. For about 5 years, I couldn't eat pancakes because Ipecac tastes like maple syrup, and because it induces vomiting.
Yes.
Quite readily. There was no way I was eating pancakes for a while. But then they give you this liquid charcoal that soaks up your stomach and gets you to settle down. So I was laying in the hospital. My grandma came and got me, and then she brought me home. She was obviously very disappointed. And I kind of laid on the couch for a while, and the VMAs were on. And
wait, do you remember what year?
It was 91, I think, 90 or 91.
Okay.
It was the year that Faith No More first played, and they played Epic, and
awesome.
It was amazing. And it kind of re-energized my whole will to make music. Like, they were so good, and they were so powerful, and it was so different than anything I'd ever seen, you know, that they really kind of got me up off my ass, and that's when I started writing again, started kind of, you know, making music again. So if it wasn't for Faith No More, I wouldn't be here.
Coming off of methadone is like falling from a 50-story building every 5 minutes, and every other minute in between, you're being pushed to the edge. The anxiety level is through the roof. And by the time
oh my God,
I got back home, I was this close. And then I finally looked at this piece of fucking shit in my hand, this little tiny chip of medicine, methadone. It's garbage. It's soul-stealing garbage. And I said, is this really gonna control my life anymore? And I just threw it away, walked away, and I said, fuck it. Bring on the sickness, bring on the whatever. But I had defeated it, really. What I did was take my fingernail shaver, and I would shave down a little piece, a little more daily, till it was nothing. But
so you weaned yourself off?
I weaned myself off, yes. Using heroin was what I call slamming the door shut. You know, like, fuck off, leave me alone. If I'm gonna be this miserable, then fucking, I'm going away for a little while, and I did, and I'm glad to not be there anymore. Jesus Christ, what a horrible, horrible thing. But to beat it and come out of it, here I am.
10 years later.
Cute as hell.
There you go.
If you would have told me 14 years ago I'd go without a beer for 14 years, I'd say you're out of your mind. But I'm sitting in my bar in my new home, and there's no beer here. And guess what? I can live without it, you know. I feel great, you know. My girlfriend's also a personal trainer, so she's got me working out again, running a life cycle. You know, I'm down to 200 pounds. I'd like to get down to about 195. I had to cut loose all the people I used to get high with, you know. I had to cut them loose as friends. You know, I still stay in touch with my sponsor pretty much on a daily basis, you know, my AA sponsor. And he saved my life numerous times. My daughter's sober, you know, my girlfriend is pretty much sober, you know. She'll have a drink, a glass of wine once in a while, but, you know, social. I can't be around people that get loaded or do drugs because, and there's no alcohol or drugs allowed in the dressing room when I tour or on the bus. So, you know, that's pretty much how I do it. You know, I gotta distance myself from that element, you know, even though it's been 14 years and I really don't get urges anymore, it's a smart thing to do. Oh, I've gone to thousands of meetings and they've helped me tremendously. You know, it's a great feeling to go to a meeting and hear other people share and you identify with them. You know, somebody's talking about a problem they're having, and you go, God, man, it's like I had the exact same problem last week.
It says that you've since rid yourself of all drugs and all that stuff through a cycle that you call your own personal rehab with God. And it said that you had checked into a hotel room and kind of sat in bed for hours as like your own detox rehab sort of thing. Fact. Okay.
Yeah, I started getting high on God instead of getting high on drugs. But
yeah,
I slept it off and just like for days, and I ordered pancakes. And when you come off meth, you really want sugar.
Really?
And so and so I just ate pancakes and slept. But you know what was crazy is usually it's like a month or something. You're just in bed, and within like 3 days, 2 or 3 days, I was up walking around and I was outside just going, "Wow, the sun is beautiful." And yeah, it was really cool.
Wow. They say that the first 3 days are always the worst, but I guess it is different for everybody. That's crazy that you only had like 3 hell days, you know?
That's why there was a lot of things like miracles, little miracles like that were just showing me that this stuff's real. The faith is real, and I'm like, okay, cool. And so it made me want to live again.